Hey guys, KSKBushcrafter here, doing a grouse hunt today, and hot tent camping, probably just a one night. Came in over there, parked the truck, and now I'm going to be walking down this unnamed road. It's not a road, it's unnamed trail, so good to go for hunting as far as I'm concerned. So, well, as far as the law is concerned. So anyway, not a whole lot of snow here, as you can see, especially up in the bush. It looks white. I can tell you it's less than a centimeter in most spots. You can still see lots of green, so not quite the environment for a pulk, so I'm having to pack in a lot of weight, a lot of equipment for this trip to try to get my hot tent in here, the wood stove and all that. So the time now is about 10:30. Was going to be here for 8 o'clock. But you know, things happened. I was about halfway up into this area, about a 2-hour drive from where I live, and realized, oh, my wallet's back at home. So that added 3 hours to the route. An hour there and then 2 hours back up to here. So anyway, I'm all legal. I got my licenses and all that, so we're good to go. I'll fill you guys in when if or when it gets interesting. All right, guys. Well, I made it to camp. What I'm going to call camp. It's a relatively flat patch. There's some mountains kind of over on that side. I know there's a water source down there. There's a pond I can purify the water from. Excuse me. And on the way here, I flushed about 5 grouse. 5. But the problem is that this snow is super squeaky. Like, you walk on this snow, and especially where it's a little bit thicker and crunchier, they're flushing just too far ahead of me to actually be, you know, for me even to see them. But I can hear them flushing ahead of me. So I tried slowing it down, tried speeding it up, tried to find a medium. I had two of the 5 flushed near me, but I only heard them again. I didn't see them, so they were just right off out of my eyesight. So anyway, it's the last day of the season, so I'm gonna try some more. But first, I want to get the camp set up. This is a relatively flat patch, so I'm gonna like clean maybe I need, I think, about a 10-foot radius for the footprint for the tent. So I'm gonna do that, get the tent set up, and then yeah. Alright, so I got camp all set up, and I went ahead and processed some firewood. So let me just give you a little tour of camp. So cleared the spot all around, got it all staked out. I got my wood stove going. I got myself, that should be enough for one night, hopefully. Fingers crossed, I made twice as much as I thought I'd need, which is a good rule of thumb. Always process more firewood than you think you're going to need. And then we got the sleeping pad on. So I've got my Taiga -25 sleeping bag. Comfort rating on it's really like -10, -15. And then I've got this liner, which I'll throw in. That should bump up the insulation rating or the degrees a bit. It's a little tattered because it has been through its paces. And then I've got, this is just the bag for my cot. I got my cot. It's a low profile cot, and one thing about winter camping, cots are like essential. If you don't have a way to get yourself elevated off the ground, even like I've done it where the only way I was able to insulate my back was with a a tarp, wool blanket, and a sleeping pad, 2 thermarests, and like that was like the only way I was ever able to sleep on the ground in the winter, in the cold. So yeah, having yourself elevated will provide a barrier between you and the ground, and so you can properly sleep. And then I've got an insulated thermarest there. Now I was gonna bring a bivy sack to put it all in, but I was already carrying so much bulk. Like that pack right there, that's I think it's a 110 liter bag. So it's massive, and it was already packed full with just like basically the essentials, along with like some comfort items. Like I'm not gonna go, you know, all Bear Grylls here and like just like go out in the middle of the woods in the winter with just a knife. I mean, Bear Grylls is a terrible example. It's all fake. But anyway, yeah, so everything's set up. It's my One Tigris tent, Dashnell wood stove. So far it's working good. I'm gonna probably have to level it out a bit as the snow melts underneath of it. But I got a little fire just to christen camp before I go out do a bit of hunting. All right, well guys, not successful in the hunting part of things. Flushed, I think one. I heard it was like right there, but then again, they're just kind of. I don't think they've been on the ground. I think they've actually just been like roosting really close to the trail, and that's why I'm not seeing them, because I'm not seeing anything fly up from the ground. Maybe I'm just bad at hunting. That's always a possibility. I'll let you guys decide. Anyway, so I came down to this beautiful beaver pond. My camp being right up in there. I stumbled across something interesting. So here's what I found. It's a old dope growing operation. So you can see in here somebody was growing or has been growing, because I mean the plastic isn't too crazy faded, but yeah, like this bin here, you can see it has a drainage hole cut into it. These like clearly planters, like obvious like purpose planters, right? And like all these bins full of like soil that has vermiculite in it, like of all things. So yeah, illegal grow up. Whole bunch of trash, man. Actually, I'm more upset about the trash. I could care less about whoever growing dope out here. All the little like planter containers. Hilarious. But yeah, more upset about the trash. Like, look at this beautiful view. And then just like, come on, man. I guess you can't expect organized crime to clean up after themselves. So I'm so tempted to use these buckets to like carry stuff. Like, we'll carry water, but like I don't know what they mix in them. Like, I don't know if they just use them to grab water from the pond to water their plants, or if they were used for like any sort of chemicals, like fertilizers, artificial fertilizers and stuff, or pesticides, herbicides. I have no idea, so probably just gonna leave them. But yeah, it's just, like, I don't mind picking up the odd little bit of trash, but like I can't carry this all out. Even if I could, like, I would need probably like a quad or something to get close enough to here that it would even make sense to start trying to hike this stuff out. So unfortunately, I think it's gonna stay where it is. Well, back at camp now, and got my wood stove going over here. You can see the nice glow coming off of it. You can see the nice glow coming off of it. Very peaceful. Heard a weird kind of yelp scream earlier. That was a bit weird. Sitting here just as nightfall kind of hit, I heard this like loud, like deep bellowing scream. Good stuff, you know, alone in the woods, normal stuff, normal shenanigans. And yeah, I made a pot of chili. I was able to hack a hole in the ice with the with my knife. Surprisingly thick, because there's like 2 hours south from here, there's no ice yet on any of the rivers that's safe enough to walk on. And here it's 7 inches deep, so I hacked away with my knife for a while. Anyway, I'm gonna enjoy a nice dinner, and then I'm pretty much all ready for bed here. So had a couple nights, past few nights, where I slept 4 or 5 hours, so I'm sure tonight's gonna be a good long sleep, and then tomorrow wake up, make myself some coffee, some oatmeal. I'm gonna start packing up and should be out of here by probably around 9 o'clock, I'm gonna guess. I don't think I'll need more than an hour a day time to hike out of here. I'll pack up everything that I can while I'm waiting for sunrise. The last things to pack are always gonna be the wood stove and the tent, just because it's nice to have it to the last minute. And I find with the wood stove, as long as you just open up the doors, you can pull out or the logs while there's still ashes in them, and while there's still embers and whatever, you can just dump those out. No problem, just wear some gloves. Anyway, I'm gonna get to eating dinner. It's only gonna get cold. Morning, everybody. It's about 5:30. Woke up at 4:30. Went to sleep probably 6:30. So only woke up twice. Once at 12:30. It's about 6 hours sleep. So it's probably when my body's like, yeah, you got enough sleep. And I said, sleep in a bit. So fell back to sleep. Woke up at like 3:30, and I was like, yeah, no, a little bit more. I can get a little bit more before daylight. Daylight's not till 7:45. So like no point getting up really anytime before dawn when you're out camping like this. Unless you want to wander in the night. I mean, that's up to you, but not advisable for the most part. And yeah, so I'm up at 4:30, made myself some coffee, just kind of getting everything packed up. Got my sleeping bag all rolled up here, and my sleeping pads rolled up, and I'm just kind of taking inventory, and yeah. And so this is just like a quick overnight. Got the wood stove going, keeping me warm, and part of this whole thing was really to just try out some new equipment. So as you saw, I was wearing an anorak. My uncle sent me that, and I'm just doing a bit of testing on equipment. I've also got these are new bush pants. They're Condor fabric. Don't think they're 511. I don't remember exactly who makes them. I'm not really doing full reviews, but the point of this trip was just to try them out. The one thing I do want to talk about is these really nice looking Italian Alpine boots. These are Italian military Alpine boots, and they're very interesting. So my uncle sent me those as well. He sends me a lot of stuff. I really love my uncle for that. He's super supportive of my love for the outdoors, and he shares that love, and that's why him being up in the Yukon, right? He moved up there because he loves the outdoors, I presume, and also probably to get away from people. I don't blame him. People aren't great. So anyway, yeah. So these Alpine boots, they're quite nice. So when I got them, I thought that they were a bit thin on insulation here, and there's no removable liner in them. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that my go-to is wool socks, muckluck with a felt liner inside of a Neo overboot. That to me has been, my uncle sent me all that too. I don't think he anticipated me using them in conjunction with each other, but I have. I love that combination because I love being able to take my foot out of the Neos after, because we have wet snow here. If we had dry snow, I could probably get away with just the mucklucks, but we don't. We have a wet snow. So I take my feet out of the Neos off, and I can dry the mucklucks that are on my feet, because I do get wet with moisture from sweat and all that. But the Neos keep the heat in because they kind of act like a vapor barrier. Anyway, so I wanted to try these out, and I thought, well, there's no removable liner. It's not super thick insulation. But let's try it out. And so my honest opinions on these is that they are very nice. But I don't think I would be taking these down to really, really cold temperatures. Like, these have been great for like -9, -10. But like here, for some reason, when like I don't know why I'm wearing doubled up socks. They're just a little thin for the insulation. And so I don't know if I could try to manage to get a felt liner in them or not. I might give that a shot, since there is a lot of extra room, at least around the top part. But they're not really super duper warm. My tips of my toes do get a little cold, not frozen, because we're only talking -6, -9, in between there somewhere, right? But they do get frosty. So but they've been pretty good. They seem to be holding up. The rubber is also very, very soft. Like, it's a very squishy, spongy rubber. And it's interesting because my foot is at this line, and then there's all this air in between, and I'm going to assume that's to provide insulation, but it's mostly around the ball of the foot. And I'm also assuming that the reason the rubber is so soft is that they're meant for performing in colder temperatures, where that rubber would stiffen up quite a bit, but they still want to allow some flexibility, kind of like winter tires on a car. So yeah, I mean, I think that the verdict is they're really nice. I'll give them a little bit of I'll give them another chance there with some felt liners. But as far as like a mild winter boot, these are great. These are fantastic. So, but we'll see when I if I can get a liner in them. We'll see how they perform then in those in that sort of configuration. And maybe these will become my new go-to versus the Neos. But I love having the mucklucks because I can take my Neos off and then just dry my mucklucks while my feet are still in them, and then I can sleep in my mucklucks. I love mucklucks. Like I lived in those for a year when I lived off grid. So yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be one of the only trips that I really get to take this year. I might try to squeeze in some smaller trips, but I'm doing snow removal this year, and so I got really lucky. We got really lucky with the weather this year. Last year I was able to just kind of go off because I just went on EI and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna spend one winter not doing anything, and then my bank account hated me, so I said, yeah, I need to work, so I do snow removal now for this winter. But we didn't get any snow over Christmas, which was really nice, because we were able to spend it with our families and all that. And then New Year's actually was last night, so Happy New Year. So yeah, anyway, it's just like, kind of like, all right, well, my boss is saying that we're not going to probably be working till Wednesday, and today is Saturday, so I'm going to plan something to leave for Sunday, come back on Monday. And I did find a few pockets of reception around this area, so, you know, I just kind of hike out. Do I have a text? No. Okay, perfect. I can hang out here longer, kind of thing. But again, I'm on call, so technically right now my boss is like, hell, I need you at the shop. I'd be like, I'm like 3 hours away. So, you know, it wouldn't be like the best situation, but oh well, I'd still show up. So yeah, unless I get more opportunities like this, it's unlikely that that I'll be doing much winter camping this year. But yeah, anyway, it's all good. Yeah, super cool thing, this tent. It's so it's a massive tent. Like the amount of space in it is kind of unreal. Yeah, so I've staked it out. The one thing I want to mention about this tent is, like, it's a good tent, but I had to do a bunch of repairs to it. So I mean, one Tigris tent, I mean, a lot of people love these. That's fine. I have a review on it, and you can see my opinions. I've done some modifications to it since to make it usable for me, yet I'm still relying on the zipper. So if you've seen that video, you're probably kind of laughing, being like, what? But yeah, the repair video should be out along with this video, so I'll probably put the link for the review and then the modification video in the description. But yeah, I like to try to avoid using the stakes where I can, because they'll freeze into the ground, and then it's like you get to hack them out, and it's just not a great thing. But I mean, other than that, there's really no solution. Maybe snow stakes would be better. Yeah, always love this thing. Well, I'm back in the truck. All the gear is in the truck. Kind of a short one, not a whole lot of cutscenes and stuff, but is what it is. Just more of a blog, I guess. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until the next one, comment if you got anything to say, like if you liked it, subscribe if you like similar content, or if you want to check out my channel to see if it's for you, do that too. And take care.